The Boston City Council is exploring the idea of charging fees for resident parking stickers. Some residents don't like the fees, but in a hearing yesterday, supporters of fees said they could reduce excess demand for parking as well as congestion. They say the fees could also provide more revenue for improving transportation.
Most cities around us have some very reasonable charge, $25, $40, even $100. We're not sure what level is the right one to recommend for Boston, but if there were another revenue source that could help fund the needed improvements in infrastructure, obviously including some exemptions either for seniors, for low-income residents, we want to be able to capture the value that's there in on-street parking and keep putting that back into the neighborhoods.
So when somebody's circling the block looking for a space, it's super frustrating, especially if they have a permit. I think it's important to know that having a permit doesn't promise you a space in our current system, which I think is one of the things we can fix. And that's one of the things that the city has cited is that about 30% of the traffic in Boston is people circling the block looking for a parking space rather. And that is something that's stressful. It creates a lot of anxiety for people. And so we can figure out a system that gives people a good sense of whether they're going to have a spot.
I think it is a bit crazy to give unlimited numbers of resident parking stickers for free. It seems to me much more sensible. And there have been a number of different proposals that I've heard, and I'm not sure which one will eventually make sense. But say to have one or at most two that are free, and then to have a sliding scale of fees, and also to have a cap on the number of resident parking stickers that any particular household can get. You don't need all that number of cars.
If you live in South Boston, you can rent an off-street space on Craigslist for $345 a month. So add that to 12. I'm not a great math person, but it's over $3,500 a year for a parking spot in South Boston off-street. So essentially the city, if I had a parking spot in South Boston, the smartest thing I could do would be to rent that parking spot and put my car on street. And that's just a broken system.